Welcome you all for the today's class. The today's class is on the pericardium. So, what do you mean by pericardium? If I tell you the heart, you can see the heart. The heart is covered by fibroserous membrane called as pericardium. Look here, you can see that like you think a bag. Okay, in the bag, inside the bag you put a ball. Imagine the same way, the ball you tell it is a heart, and the bag you imagine it is the pericardium. So the pericardium, you can see the heart here, this is a heart. The heart is enclosed, or the heart is covered by fibroserous membrane called as pericardium. So you can see here, this is a heart which is enclosed by a layer, a fibroserous or doubled wall conical fibroserous sac. You know what do you mean by sac? The sac that is called as a pericardium. The pericardium, which encloses the heart, and the root of great vessel are contained within. The root of great vessel also are enclosed within the pericardium. What does the pericardium do? The pericardium keeps the heart in position and prevent it from over distension. Okay, so this pericardium has got consist of two layers. The two layers are called as outer fibrous pericardium and inner serous layer. So if you look, the pericardium, it prevents the heart from the over distension, and it keeps the heart in the position. The heart is kept in the position by the pericardium. So this pericardium has got two layers. This is called outer fibrous and the inner serous. The inner serous is further have got two more. They are called as outer parietal and inner visceral. All this layer are continuous at the root of great vessel. So between the two layer, that is the outer fibrous and inner serous, between the layer, it consists of fluid called as a pericardial fluid. There is a space. So this space consists of fluid called as a pericardial fluid. Okay, see, look in the figure here. See what I'm talking about, this sac. You can see here that is called as a pericardium. So you can see the two layer there. The two layer are one which is outside the layer what you're seeing, fibrous pericardium. Serous is the one which is adherent to the organ, which will be close to the organ. Okay, that is called a serous pericardium. The serous pericardium is divided further into parietal layer which is close to the fibrous, and one more is called a visceral pericardium. Between these two layer you can see the space here. You can make out the space there. The space is called as a pericardial cavity. So this is the space which is called as a pericardial cavity, that is filled with the fluid called as a pericardial fluid. It consists of the pericardial fluid there. So look, what do you mean by pericardium? You have to know. So look into this figure and understand it. Okay, this is one more diagram to be drawn, which will be, see how it is drawn. See what you're looking here. See here, see this is the heart. You're looking about the heart here. So it is covered by, you can see the outer core there. So you can see the outer core there. So this is called as a, this is a fibrous pericardium what you're looking. Okay, that has got two layer fibrous pericardium. So inside one what you're seeing, the parietal and the visceral pericardium, and this is the heart. You can see these are the muscles of the heart you're looking. What type of muscles are present in the heart? The heart consists of cardiac muscle. This is the sagittal section of the pericardium. So you're looking into the position. You can see it is located in the thorax region. So this is where it is located, and this is a fibrous pericardium. What you're looking there. Yeah. So next, what you're looking, the sinus called as a pericardial sinus. These are the parts of the pericardial cavity with special significance. Okay. So the pericardial sinus are of two types. One is called as a transverse sinus, and one more is called as a oblique sinus. Okay. The two are, one is transverse sinus and one more is oblique sinus. We look into it. What do you mean by transverse and oblique in the next figure? See here, this diagram, see this is the section they have drawn you to look into the sinuses. So if you look, see this is a heart. Okay, this is the posterior view you are looking. So these are the vein you can see here. This is called as the superior vena cava, and this one you are seeing, that is called as arch of aorta. You can make out the red color there, that is called arch of aorta. So behind you are looking, these are this left atrium. So there are four pulmonary vein. Can you see the vein red color? These are four pulmonary vein. Right pulmonary vein and the left pulmonary vein. And above and below what you are seeing blue color, they are opening of superior vena cava and inferior vena cava. Okay, these two are one is arch of aorta and one more is pulmonary trunk. So here what the line passing what you're seeing, that is called transverse sinus. One here you're seeing that sinus is called as the oblique sinuses. Okay, the two sinuses, transverse and the oblique sinus. You can see transverse and the oblique sinus. So we'll look what do you mean by a sinus of the pericardium. Two sinuses in the serous pericardium are formed during the development of the heart. When the development of the heart occurs, there it takes a form, there is formation of two sinuses. The two sinuses are called as transverse sinus and oblique sinus. Okay, what do you mean by transverse sinus? You can see here a recess behind the pulmonary trunk and ascending aorta. So see, you can see the finger the passing through behind the pulmonary trunk and ascending aorta. You can see this is the pulmonary trunk and this is the ascending aorta. A recess behind the pulmonary trunk and ascending aorta, that is called as a transverse sinuses. So I'll tell you the boundary of the transverse sinus. So what is the boundary of it? Anteriorly, it is related to two vessels there. One is called as a pulmonary trunk, this one, and one more is called as the ascending aorta. Posteriorly, it is related to this vein, that is called as the superior vena cava and the upper part of two atria. Above right pulmonary artery, below true atria, mainly left atrium. So this is what you're looking, that is the transverse sinus. So if I tell you, it is a transverse gap behind the pulmonary trunk and ascending aorta and in front of the superior vena cava. So that what looking, that is called as a transverse sinus. So listen again, transverse sinus, it is a transverse gap behind the pulmonary trunk and ascending aorta and in front of superior vena cava is called as a, that sinus is called as a transverse sinus. Okay, look here. See, you have to draw the diagram. So this is how the heart is drawn. Okay, you can draw the heart. This is a arch of aorta, you're looking there. And this is a pulmonary trunk. Okay, so you can see in the figure there. So the sinus you're looking is called as a transverse sinus. Okay, next we'll look into the next sinus, which is called as a oblique sinus. The oblique sinus, it is a part of the pericardial cavity behind the left atrium. So remember, a transverse sinus will lie in front of the left atrium and this will lie behind the left atrium. The oblique sinus will lie behind the left atrium. So, the oblique sinus, it is a part of the pericardial cavity behind the left atrium. So, oblique sinus, where it is location? It separates the base of the heart called a left atrium from posterior mediastinum. You know the posterior mediastinum now. So you imagine the left atrium and posterior mediastinum. Between that two space, you see the oblique sinuses. Boundaries, anterior it is related to back of left atrium, posterior to the pericardium. You have seen the fibrous pericardium and posterior mediastinum. Left will be two left pulmonary veins and right will be two right pulmonary veins and inferior vena cava. This is a relation of the oblique sinuses. Okay, next about the arterial supply. So, this pericardium, the arterial supply is coming from the branches of the internal thoracic artery and descending aorta. You know aorta. Okay, the arch of aorta will continue further at descending thoracic aorta. So, that branches will supply the fibrous and the parietal layer. Whereas visceral layer means, which visceral means it is organ, okay, organ we call it a visceral layer. So visceral layer is supplied by artery called as a coronary artery. What are these artery? Coronary artery is the artery which supplies the heart, okay. So that is a coronary artery. So the fibrous and parietal layer are supplied by branches of internal thoracic artery and descending aorta, whereas the visceral layer is supplied by coronary arteries. Next, we look into the important is the applied anatomy of the pericardium. So here see, pericardial tamponade, an accumulation of fluid in the pericardial cavity. You know I told about the two layer. One is the fibrous pericardium, parietal and visceral. Between the two spaces is the pericardial cavity which consists of fluid, okay. So an accumulation fluid in the pericardial cavity will compress. You can see in the figure, see the healthy and the normal and the tamponade. So what will happen? So the accumulation of the fluid will compress the heart and decrease the heart rate, okay. So this is called as a pericardial tamponade. One more, pericarditis, that is infection or inflammation of the pericardium or pericarditis lead to the roughening of serous lining of pericardial cavity. There is a serous lining in the pericardium, so it will be roughening up, that is called as pericarditis. Okay, these are the applied anatomy of the pericardium. So, pericardial tamponade, that is accumulation of the fluid in the pericardium, will lead to the compression of the heart. If there is a compression of the heart, it will be automatically the heart rate will decrease. There is decrease in the heart rate. One more is pericarditis. Okay, this is one more pericardial effusion. You have see in the figure, you can make out clearly. See, this is the lungs you are looking. Okay, see the size between the two sides different, right and the left lung. And you can see the heart, the so much enlarged heart you are seeing. Okay, this is called pericardial effusion. Okay, this is a this is the heart, okay. You're looking the heart here, you can clearly see the heart, and here you can see the great vessels of the heart, that is the arch of aorta you're looking. This is the superior vena cava you're looking there. See, this is the forceps where the caesars, can you see they have passed it. So this sinus you're looking, that is called as a transverse sinuses. You can see the arch of aorta and superior the vena cava there. Okay, that is a transverse sinus they are showing you. Okay, now I think clear for you. It's a summary of the class. So what we have looked in today's class is about the pericardium. So what is pericardium? The pericardium, that is the heart. The heart is covered by a fibroserous membrane called as the pericardium. The pericardium consists of two layers called as outer fibrous and inner serous layer. So what is the function of it? It keeps the heart in position. So remember the two layer there, a pericardium, fibrous and serous pericardium. The serous pericardium is again divided in two more. They are called as a parietal layer and visceral layer. They are called as parietal and the visceral layer. Then go through the next one about the sinuses. What they are called as pericardial sinuses. The two pericardial sinuses are, one is transverse sinuses and one more is oblique sinuses. Transverse sinus means it is a transverse gap behind the pulmonary trunk and ascending aorta, and it lies, see, two trunks are in front and it lies in front of vena cava. Okay, oblique sinus is a part of pericardial cavity behind the left atrium. It will lie behind the left atrium. Okay, so that is called as the oblique sinuses. Then learn about the applied anatomy of it. Pericardial tamponade and pericarditis. These are the applied anatomy. So go through it. This is about the today's class is on the pericardium.